video. So today I'm going to be doing a review on this Pekka Meat Shield, I like to call it, deck. So you want to use this deck kind of in a pushing way. So you want to start off with that Pekka in the back, add on Wizard and Bomber, two really good cards with this deck, especially that Pekka 2 is another great card. And I usually use the Cannon and Barbarians for like defensive moves, but occasionally I use the Barbarians to add on to the push. So you want to start the Pekka in the back, obviously to like build up elixir as they go up to the trailway or whatever pathway you want to call it. So this deck is probably best for like arena 4 to 6. If you don't have Wizard, if you're in like arena 4, then you can probably substitute it for Musketeer. But the big loss that you're getting if you use Musketeer is that you don't get splash damage, so it doesn't get rid of minion hordes easily. So we're going to go ahead and review a game against, just to show you how good this deck is. I beat someone who is 108 trophies ahead of me with a 3 crown. So let's go ahead and jump to this game and show you guys how good this deck is. So we actually literally have the perfect starting deck for this, but I think he starts off with that Hog Rider. Barbarians is a perfect counter for Hog Riders, so we put that down. He gets no hits on our tower, which is pretty amazing. So now he puts down a Skeleton Army to counter those Barbarians. I still have that Pekka just sitting there in my hand, so Skeleton Army is just chipping away to those Barbarians. I leave those Skeletons alone. Then he puts a Giant, and what he's going to do here, as you can see, he has that Musketeer. He's going to actually build up a Giant Musketeer rush, which is of like amazingly good rush. If you ever come up against these, usually what you want to do is swarm the Giant with the tank, squishy troops, whatever, basically anything, and then maybe put like Spear Goblins on the Musketeer, because that Musketeer is just chips away at everything you put. So he actually takes this tower down, and I just lose all hope in this game because I'm like, God, this guy's 100 trophies ahead of me. But that's where the Pekka comes in and saves me from this game. So I leave the Hog Rider alone to build up this push. I put down my Pekka. I have my Wizard and my Bomber. It's the perfect moment to start a push. So always remember, if you want to build up a push with the Pekka, put the Pekka in the back, and then add a Wizard and a Bomber. So you can see here is that he put a Giant down to try to distract those troops, but that works horribly for him because that just built up more elixir for me. Especially, it's so weird when people freeze like this kind of swarm that I have right here. All it does is let me build up more elixir. Maybe he tried to split the minion horde. I can just arrow it or something. It's just such an easy way to build up elixir. So as you can see, that tower is gone, and you're probably thinking that there's no way that you can win this because this guy is 100 trophies ahead of you, and there's only a minute left with a minute overtime. Then he tries to start another Giant Musketeer push. There he goes, that giant, that Musketeer in the back. But my Wizard and Bomber are taking care of it. And a Skeleton Army was actually a really bad idea for him because I had a Wizard and Bomber, literally like the best things that can counter that. So now I'm starting a really good push with this. Thank God for that Wizard to take out those barbs. Now he actually puts a Hog Rider, and I get really nervous here because that Hog Rider would have been able to take out that tower, so I put Barbarians. He has that Minion Horde. Thank God I have that Wizard. And there we go. 3 crown win against a person who's 100 trophies ahead of me. That just shows you guys how good this deck is. So we're going to go ahead and review another battle. So let's go into the activity log. Oh, not the arena. Activity log. This guy was pretty equal to me, and the funny thing is that this was probably a worse game for me than the one I just replayed, and because this guy uses a spawner deck, and I personally do not like spawner decks. If you use a spawner deck, go ahead, roll what you're doing, but most of the people who you come up against are probably pretty, as soon as they get into the game, they're just like, spawner deck again. It's just they're easy to counter, but it just slows down the game, and it kind of just, you know, makes it a little bit boring, less fun. So I got a pretty nice hand right here. He's got that Goblin Hut to put down. He's thinking that the spawner deck is gonna succeed against my deck, but no, it's not. Because I have that Wizard and Bomber, which are key elements to defeating a spawner deck. Because, you know, you have those swarms of barbarians. A Bomber will literally just take it out, just like I did there. And then he has a Hog Rider going on the right, so I put down the barbarians to counter that. It gets one hit off my tower. He's got a little bit some goblins over here. And then he still has those barbarians on the left. So I go ahead and put down a wizard. And now he's got a goblin barrel that he puts down. I shoot it with some arrows. Arrows is a good counter for goblin barrel. Always remember to have arrows in your deck. It's just essential to any deck. So now I got this pretty nice push going. Unfortunately, he puts down barbarians. But they end up going away in a couple seconds because of my tower. So I still have got that Pekka in this game. And the good thing about this game that I'm replaying this to you guys is because I didn't actually use this Pekka the whole entire game. And it's kind of highlighting the troops that, like Wizard, Bomber, Barbarians. It's kind of highlighting them to show you guys, you know, how to use these cards. So I got a nice push building up right here. The only thing I can save him from this is probably a fireball, but he does not have that in this deck. So he uses arrows, which is, I guess I got an idea to get rid of those archers. And then he desperately puts a goblin barrel there, which is a waste, because now he just wasted 4 elixir. And you already know that I'm going to get that tower later on in the game. So he puts that cannon. I try to distract it with some spear gobs. He puts down the Hog Rider, and then I distract it with the cannon. Now I got the barbarians on the right to try to get rid of that tower. Unfortunately, he puts level 8 barbarians, which kills my barbarians. And you might be wondering why I put down those arrows, because I thought he was going to put down like a swarm of goblins around my barbarians. I always try to take a risky move, and say I'm using a hog cycle deck, I use a Hog Rider and I use arrows, because I think he's going to put down a minion horde. It actually works to my advantage most of the time, but not there. So you can see here that Wizard is just leading that pack. Unfortunately, it dies, but my barbarians just go to town on that tower, and I get a 1-0 against somebody who was pretty equal to me. He actually used his troops pretty wisely. It was a pretty difficult game for me, especially because I didn't use that Pekka, because I didn't get a chance to use that Pekka. That's the problem. That's the only downside to this deck. You might not get a chance to use that Pekka because it's 7 elixir. So there's the Pekka Meat Shield deck for you guys. Always remember to start the Pekka in the back, build up with a Wizard and Bomber, and use that cannon for defensive moves with the Barbarians as well. So thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Leave a like if you guys thought that this was, you know, helpful, educational. Because this deck, this game, is all about strategy. So I'm going to do more of these kinds of videos for you guys. Hopefully it's, you know, helpful and educational. Leave a like if you think that. So yeah, I'll see you guys later, and peace.